We've got more breaking news. China is now stepping up and having some comments on the Syrian situation that's developing here. It's putting a lot of pressure on everybody. I want to thank Troy of North Carolina for this report. I want to also thank Larry of West Virginia for the last article, the last video I did on Venezuela and the plot that the Venezuelan president thinks that the United States is trying to overthrow his government. Here's what China's saying. Reports by Reuters, China is urging this morning the United States of America to proceed with extreme caution and return to the United Nations to discuss Syria after Washington said it was not seeking a Security Council approval for action in response to the chemical weapon attack last month. Washington and Paris, France, say forces loyal to President Bashar Assad were behind the attack in which more than 1,429 people have died, and that they are considering airstrikes to try to deter him from using such weapons again. But China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi said relevant countries should think thrice before acting and exercising extreme caution. Should return to the United Nations. The Americans need to use extreme caution. They should return to the United Nations Security Council framework to seek a consensus and appropriately handle the Syrian issue. Wang told U.S. Secretary of State John F. Kerry in a telephone call late last night, Sunday night, September the 8th, 2013. China and the United States should take the lead in upholding UN charters to preserve and protect the basic norms of international relationships and to oppose any use of chemical weapons, Wang said according to the statement on the Foreign Ministry's website. But the remarks come after Chinese President Xi Jinping told U.S. President Barack Obama at the G20 summit in Russia last week that a military strike could not solve the problem and that a political solution was the correct way out. China has repeatedly called for an impartial investigation by the United Nations chemical weapons inspectors into the attack in Syria, and has warned against prejudging the results. It has also said that whoever used chemical weapons had to be held accountable. But the UN inspectors are likely to hand their report later this week while the United States Congress debates whether or not to allow limited strikes to be used on Damascus of Syria. French President François Hollande, increasingly under pressure at home and among European partners to seek a UN mandate before any military intervention in Syria, suggested Saturday, September the 7th, 2013, that he could not seek a resolution at the Security Council despite previous Russian and Chinese vetoes. John F. Kerry is still listening carefully to what France and other nations are saying. Now, while that's going on, folks, let's speak about John F. Kerry, the man in the middle, the man that on one hand is trying to put together a worldwide peace agreement between Israel, Palestine, and a covenant with many people that would include a two-state solution, Israel and Palestine living side by side. He's trying to accomplish a prophetic word spoken by Daniel in Daniel 9:27, which probably would include the building of the third temple of the Lord on top of Mount Moriah. In one hand, he's trying to be the peacemaker, but in the other hand, he's pushing the world for war. What? Who is John F. Kerry? Now wait, he has some statements to make. He says here, and then this is another article. Thank you, Troy of North Carolina. But John Kerry says Syria should hand over all their chemical arms. That could prevent an attack. U.S. Secretary of State John F. Kerry told Reuters on today that Syrian President Bashar Assad could avoid a military strike by turning over all his chemical weapons within a week, but immediately made clear he was sure that it would never happen. Now, when asked by a reporter whether there was anything Assad's government could do, Kerry stopped. He said, sure, he could turn over every single bit of his chemical weapons to the international community in the next week. Turn it over, all of it without delay, and allow the full and total accountability, but he isn't about to do it, and it can't be done. Folks, it's too late. It's too late. President Barack Obama will be giving addressing the world from the White House tomorrow night, September the 10th. He may be telling us that as he's speaking, that bombs are already blasting through Damascus, creating a biblical prophecy of Isaiah 17:1 and Jeremiah 49:23-27 of the destruction of Damascus. And as he speaks Tuesday night, September 10th, it will already be the breaking early morning hours of 9/11/2013. Are you saved? Are we on the brink of the beast? Are we on the edge of eternity? Are we at the apocalyptic hour? Is something biblical going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ? Is this my last cup of coffee before the world comes to